Hello, hello, JUSTJEM here and welcome, or indeed welcome back to my channel. I'm going to have another go at You Pick, I Rank. When I first thought about doing this, I put up a community post and I asked you to pick 5 palettes that you wanted me to rank. One of the suggestions was to rank my Glamlite palettes, and that works perfectly because I have 5 Glamlite palettes. And on this occasion, I've already done the work, and this was much easier because it's the same formula. All I'm comparing here is colour stories. I don't have to think about different longevity times or formulas or anything like that. This is purely based on colour stories. Who wants to have a guess as to how I've ranked these palettes here? So we've got Dirty Martini, Frosted Flakes, Margarita, Chocolate Martini and Wine. Now when it comes to beverages, I quite fancy all of those. I mean, Frosted Flakes isn't a beverage, but you know what I mean. So drop me a comment down below now as to how you think I have ranked these 5. Okay, right, kicking off here with 5th place. And there were some elements of this that was hard and some of it that was easy, and you might be surprised by the order. You might be surprised by the order, but this is the order that we're going with. In last place, I'm putting Margarita. And I think I'm putting Margarita in here is because it's perhaps not as versatile as the other palettes, or maybe it is versatile. I think I do like the colour story in here, but I feel like perhaps as a solo palette it's missing too many things, so I'd want a bit more depth. So one of the good things, especially about the cocktail palettes for example, is that if you mix and match you can get some really nice looks, and you could consider this a standalone, but the only reason I don't is because I would want more depth. You're probably going to hear me saying that a lot in this video. I'm just saying that right now. Always me in the depth, always. Really, the darkest shade in here is Strawberry, that red. And how often are you going to be using that red to deepen up looks in this palette? You need more. I think that because this is the least standalone palette in this pile, that's why I've put it in at 5th place. Next up is going to be Dirty Martini. And I know you're thinking to yourself, but Jem, it's green! Why is it so low? I don't understand. Again, it's partly a depth issue, and I think it's also because some of the tones of green in here aren't necessarily the greens I like. I like the really bright greens. The ones that I would be more drawn to, for example, are, well, really the standout shade in here, the matte wise, is Mix It Up. That's probably my favourite matte in here because it's the vibrancy that I like and it's got the depth combined. Some of the greens in here are the more grungy tones, she says, while wearing like a grungy-ish green top. But they're the more grungy tones that I'm not necessarily drawn to. So while I love my greens, and on paper this should probably rank more highly than it does, because it's got those more muted greens and I tend to prefer, this is why this has come in at number 4. Very, very nice, but yeah, 4th place there, 4th place. You're going to be really surprised, I think, with the order of this one, really surprised. In 3rd place we have got Wine. And again, I think it's the depth. I think this is beautiful. I do really like this palette, and I sort of dug these out, and when I was doing the ranking, I did some looks and I did some swatches, and I was thinking to myself, well, like, how would I put this? And it's a really nice sort of monochromatic purple palette. And the looks that I have done with this I do really like, but I think, again, just because there's only one deepening shade for me, And really, I'd quite like an even deeper purple in here. It's missing a really, really dark purple for me to deepen things up. This just about does it, but if I'm always relying on this, you run into the danger of just creating samey looks. So for me, while I love a purple, and this is the purple tones that I like, just if it had one more deeper purple in here, it might have been pushed further up. I don't know if I can say the same for Dirty Martini though. I don't know if a deeper green in there would have pushed this further up, but Wine, I think a deeper purple would do it. I do think so. What's going to be on the top, do you reckon? What's going to be on the top? I'm rattling through this. It's going to be a very short video in comparison to the last one I did. Maybe I shouldn't prep them in advance. Maybe I should deliberate on camera for you. Far more entertaining than me whizzing through it like this. In second place, drum roll please, Chocolate Martini. Chocolate Martini goes in here because there's something about the shimmers in this palette. I love the shimmers in this palette, and I don't know if it's almost because it's a neutral palette, I don't mind getting samey looks out of it. There's something about neutralness. I don't know what it is, but I think, yeah, it's a combination of the shimmers in here, and I'm loving neutrals right now. I'm loving neutrals. If you'd asked me to rank this 12 months ago, and maybe if you ask me to rank this again in another 12 months, maybe when I'm not loving neutrals so much, maybe this would fall a little bit. Like maybe Wine would overtake this, especially if, you know, if it had a deep purple in there, this probably, it would have come in second. But for me, because I'm loving neutrals, and because this is a fun neutral, it's not like your bog standard, there's something about it, this one. I did a look with this last week, and it was just so nice. It just looked so pretty. Even I'm surprised when I was ranking these, and I put them in this order and I settled on the final 5, I was like,
really? Okay.
So if I'm surprised, I mean, if any of you have guessed the ranking here, I am impressed. I will say, I am impressed. Obviously, that means that Frosted Flakes is coming in at number 1. And that's what Frosted Flakes looks like. Maybe it's because out of my 3 favourite colours to use, secretly or subconsciously, blue is my favourite. I don't know. But for this, it's not quite as monochromatic as, say, Chocolate, Dirty and Wine. Obviously, Margarita is the exception, so it's almost I've put the 2 varieties at either end of the ranking. But I think because I can get blue looks and I can get orange looks, and I could just about get a neutral look out of this, and then I can combine it. So I've done that as well. I've done a blue and orange look. I've done a few of those. I remember when I first filmed, I think I did blue with orange, but then I flipped it. Yeah. So I think this ranks top because it just has a bit more versatility. And when I compare it to something with like Margarita, for example, which obviously has an array of colour, I mean, this has got a black and it's got this deep blue. So maybe based on that alone, if you are familiar with the colour stories, you may have guessed that I would go for this black and the deep blue alone, because that just adds depth, it adds dimension. So that's how I'm ranking them. That's how I rank. Yeah, I don't think that was super speedy. I don't think that's anywhere near as fun as when I do it on camera. So I mean, you'll have to let me know. Maybe you like a mixture, somewhere I deliberate and somewhere I come prepared with my ranking. Because sometimes you just want something quick and snappy, don't you? But that's my ranking of my 5 Glamlite palettes. Frosted Flakes in at number 1. Chocolate Martini number 2. Wine, number 3. Dirty Martini, number 4. And Margarita in at number 5. How would you rate these palettes? I'd be very curious to know. I suspect some of you might have the cocktail collection, and maybe you have the cocktail collection but you don't have the Frosted Flakes collection. So if that's the case, maybe rank the cocktail collection and just let me know where you would slot Frosted Flakes. Or maybe it's the opposite, maybe you've only got Frosted Flakes. I don't know. Either way, let me know. How would you rank these 5 palettes? Short and sweet one there for you, but now this is a call out, so I've run out, well, not that I've run out of suggestions, I do have more suggestions, but they had very, very similar palettes involved, and I want to try and get a good variety in there. Bear in mind that last time it was Poison Garden, Beauty Below, Lightwork 6, Nearly Natural and Vivette. Those were the last 5. This is the current 5. Over to you to pick my next 5 palettes to rank. Okay? Very important task, very important task. So drop me a comment with my next 5 and I'll get filming. As always, thank you for taking the time to watch. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I also hope to see you again in a video in the not too distant future. Take care. Bye. I don't know, maybe it's because out of blue, purple and green, maybe blee